Hi, folks. This is the Illegal Amigo presents Skankfest Revisited. Here's the Scenario Podcast. One of the final episodes they would do of this podcast, in fact. Very intrigued by this one. I've taken to mostly just focusing on podcasts and events that I was absent for. So this will be one of the last few I do here. We're topping off the end of October, so I figure lay Skankfest to rest on the Hallows Eve or Dia de los Muertos, something proper, you know. Until next year, that is to say. Um, but yeah, let's see here. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab this here device to get ready to start our podcast. And you can feel free to sync this up. The link will be in the description. And you can open up another tab or another device and get it all ready. And pause for the time being while I get this puppy started. Until then, the rest of us will continue. In 3, 2, 1. The scenario. Oops, my bad. That's my scenario. uh, ooh. All right, so um, the fact that they're ending their podcast on a bang is really kind of cool. You got to appreciate that. Going out on top. History Hyenas did it. Here's the scenarios we'll do it. Bad audio. No, but it's pretty hard for any of these things to have any kind of decent audio. I would love to be part of the audio staff at one of these here events, so we'll see how that works out next year round. Man, I'll tell you though, these three have done a good job of ensembling them their way into my heart. I do like this show. I obviously been a fan of it since it's maybe not since inception, but close enough to it. Uh, Definitely have seen it under different names, let's say. And yeah, so for those of you just tuning in, I am going through the playlist that I've accumulated or curated, if you will, for the Skankfest Vegas 2023 podcast and events that they have available on YouTube. So I've created a playlist around that, and I am now coming around to watching or listening to podcasts that I wasn't able to attend the live performances of. It initially was going to be just like kind of as many of these as I can do, but at the same time, I found myself focusing in on the ones that I hadn't seen being more intriguing to talk about and pay attention to. Man, I'd love to see somebody of just uh, do like the free falling music video, but off of that zip line. You know how they get the cool aerial views of in the free falling video, something like that, but of the of a dive bomb of the from the zip lines. I'll say this about last year's Here's the Scenario live at Skankfest podcast. I found it to have some of the best moments of all live podcasts I've ever seen. Scotty Chaps being gacked out, let's say, um, getting told to get the fuck off stage by Brandon Sagalow was one of my favorite things. It was one of my favorite moments of the whole festival. And then Sam Talent. Oh my God, Sam Talent. I saw the list of the people who are going to be on this one, man, and some of them are killers, dude. I mean, they got. I think it was Chrissy D, Sam Talent, to say the least. We'll see. There's plenty more. I think Steve Ranazizi, Jeremiah Watkins. I almost said Jeremiah Wonders, which is his podcast, man. It's Jeremiah Watkins, I believe. I think that is his name. I'd have to keep saying it. That's something wrong. But as I was saying before, like the way that these three have created an ensemble, because I've watched a little bit of Irish Goodbye when it was on, Gas Digital, and there's some fun to be had. I definitely liked their tete-a-tete. But at a third tet, and you got something there, and the third tet is a retard. Four, four, four. There's a lot of these podcasts too. I'd step into for a little bit, realize this. I can only get to the standing room bit. I can't get to the seating bit. So nuts to this. I'd kirk off. We'll talk about one of those here in a minute because that's actually one of the ones that I have is one of the rare things that I'm gonna do that I've stepped in on and was 50-50, which is a Legion of Skanks recording. Also, I believe tomorrow they're gonna be starting the Legion of Skanks episode in which Joe DeRosa famously kicked off Skankfest proper by doing something quite improper, let's say. He was deliberately improper, if you ask me. Yeah. Man, I'll tell you, I've already seen Feeney out there killing extra podcasts. That's good. He kind of like Dan Soder when he departed from the bonfire, hitting the road hard and potting it up. X to the zizzle. Man, Brandon Sagalow though, I'm curious to see what happens with him because he's one of the more interesting people I really like. I think he could do some really good voiceover if he can take direction. I would love to propose a show, kind of like Shorties watching Shorties, but maybe more of like South Park age kids, maybe, or something like that. Maybe from that age to maybe tweens. Tweens would be a good age, so like 10, 11, 12, right? But Sagalow, Dave Temple, Dan Soder. Let's see who else would be good at this. Tony Hinchcliffe. Whoever else you could get. Just a bunch of people who have very pronounced voices that can lend themselves to being like little kid voices, curious little kid voices, or silly little kid voices. I could imagine Dave Temple being, "Damn, you white boys crazy." Because he kind of has a little bit of a silly, of a lisp of a way of talking or something like that. And then Brandon Sagalow's the type of kid who like thinks he's gonna do something cool and then breaks his arm. You know what I mean? One of them dumb kids that breaks their arm. Yeah. Oh man, so much mushrooms at Skankfest. You'd swear it was some kind of pizzeria. A little bit of ASMR for your ASSMR. Chrissy D still owes me a picture. I took a picture with him on, I believe, Friday night of the festival, maybe Saturday night. No, it's Friday night for sure. And yeah, I couldn't figure out who took the damn picture, and it wasn't on Chrissy D's Twitter or Instagram. I wonder where it ended up. Somebody told me Mike Racine or Mike Rainey took it, so maybe I'll get it one day. Maybe I won't. But I wanted him to sign. I had my Ladder 14 T-shirt in my bag. Ladder 14, dog. Ah. His history hyenas ended in the same fashion. Hypothetical questionnaires. So yeah, this is like I said, this is cool because despite the fact that the show's ending, that they got to do it like I said, kind of not on top per se, but uh, doing it because they want to move on, not because they have to or this that or the other. You know what I mean? Like just organically letting it move, letting them all move on to the next stage of their careers. That Mike Feeney's gonna be hot in the streets, I'm sure, soon enough. I remember here's a scenario last year, man. People were dabbing and do all kinds of shizo too. People were going crazy. Hell yeah, bros. uh, oh, Sag Daddy the God, you roasted those nerds. Okay, here we go. Har har. The cold hurts my cavities, dog. That's my Chrissy D impression, by the way. I just like I can barely talk. And then say something gay. That's usually how Chrissy D talks. I'd do it myself and make the imitation go further, but it just becomes a real burning trash fire after a couple sentences of that stuff. Oh yeah, gross. That is really disgusting, pero los dos are disgusting. Ugh. Both are pretty vomit inducing if you ask me. I think that's been one they've done. Lewis, J, or Dave? Hmm. I'll tell you. Mm, I'll tell you. Chrissy D does not hesitate to consider a life with a man. He's always ready to go with those FMK questions, I'm sure. Lewis, Lewis, Lewis. Ha 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 ha. Skankfest, take it to the skanks. Maximize your skanking power, Skankfest. Man, I don't know. Sagalow's the Jewish one on the dais here. Maybe he knows what he's talking about. Mary Lewis, y'all. Mary Lewis. Mary Lewis, y'all. Mary Lewis. Wow. No wonder this podcast is ending. You know what I'm saying, dog? That's my Joey Coco Diaz impression, and I don't know why I did it. I think I was going to do the old Chris Stefano there, and I got lost somewhere in Albuquerque. Oh, in East Teaneck, New Jersey, dog. They make a sloppy Joe with a can of corn you wouldn't believe. Here's my impression of Joey Coco Diaz falling off a cliff. Cocksucker! I love doing that one. It's hilarious. That and my Chewbacca going by on a moped. Oh, who else they bring on stage? Let's see. Oh, this might be. Is it J Dog? Might be Jeremiah. Oh, I think they just meant the people asking the questions about the conference thing. Okay, here we go. Ooh, doggy. 4, 4, 4. Joe DeRosa ain't a poser. He ain't never met a feller that he never wanted to kiss like old Yeller Beller. I don't know. I lost my way somewhere around. Go on now. Sagalo seems to thrive in the live episodes for the most part. I mean, I could be speaking too soon. He could have one of his trademark meltdown, breakdowns, panic attacks, or whatever the hell you want to call those snafus. But you know. By the way, this may be being posted on Halloween, and if you're watching it as such, do be careful with very flammable costumes. I caught a costume on fire yesterday, and it was quite embarrassing. The cherry of a rolled cigarette, let's say, fell onto the costume as I wasn't wearing it. I was not wearing it. It was on the floor. And the cherry engulfed the entire thing in flames quite quickly. Huh. Food dog. Yeah, I think it was Jeremiah Kansas City. Yeah, let's keep stacking them up. Excuse me.
You would belligerently eject one of the guests and then bring on the other one.
Yeah.
You've lost confidence. Fuck my ass. God damn it. No, I don't want to do this.
All
right. Question then? What just happened?
Yeah, he didn't do the same thing he told Scott Chaplin to like fuck off last time.
Over here. What's your name, young man? John? How many Johns? This whole fucking thing's falling off the rails.
It sure is, buddy.
Would you rather summon velociraptors anytime you sneeze?
Hmm.
Or every sexual partner of yours has to post public reviews of your sexual performances online? Now, here's the thing. No further questions at this time. Are the velociraptors hunting me, or is it like a Chris?
I also wonder if it's the velociraptors that are like the size of, like the height of a car, or the ones that are the height of a chicken. Because I think like most things the size of a chicken, I would just hunt them. I'm very, very violent at things that are shorter than my knee height. I'm kidding. I don't abuse animals. I'm simply joking. I have yet to punt a chicken, people. Let's be realistic now. Come on.
Are they doing my bidding? One hunts your mom and the other one just coming up with this right now. One hunts your mom and the other one blows your dad.
And yeah, he's really saying all this stuff like he's like, clearly one is hunting for your mother and the other one is like kind of like a serial killer. So you don't really know. It's a little more of a wild card, you know? Is it kind of Velociraptor be a serial killer? One would argue no. He just keeps going down that road. But this Velociraptor manages to be a serial killer, yes, in no uncertain terms. What if instead of Velociraptors, they're Velocirapers? And they're just horny dinosaurs. That's what I call them, horny swords. That is retarded. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I know. Yes. So, whatever. I mean, what are they gonna say? It's only gonna be the same reviews. Chris is gay.
Oh man, yeah, you ain't lying. Chris Stefano, or as he told me his name is, Chris the Leo Dog. Oh damn it! I started to do it again. I started to almost start to do Jerry Coco Diaz. I'm trying to do Chris Stefano.
I would retweet it, especially now. I would retweet it because those pics back those days, a few years ago, I had warts, and now I don't. So I feel like I would just show the progress.
We're just hyenas. What a perfect person to have as this guest for this show, though.
All I did was take Kratom, and my warts went away.
Yo, Kratom. That funky Kratom. Yo, Kratom. Damn. I'm loaded off Kratom.
Let's bring up another guest.
What up? What up? What up?
Ladies and gentlemen, let's bring up
Now, tell him Dustin I've seen around, and I think I saw him do a comedy set there. Oh, yes. Bye-bye to Jeremiah.
What's up, T? I don't know any of you. We don't know a bomb. Fill it with cum. Let's do this. I like it. Yeah, we were outside.
That's going to be somebody else's next question. Now, if there was a bong filled with cum. Tom Dustin be bustin' muffins. Oop.
Yeah, even with the Florida. Joe doesn't have an accent. No, he's not drinking. It's built into the bottom of every drink. Anybody got a question?
Now, Jonas does have a decent little Boston accent when like he starts talking fast. If he doesn't slow down his speech, he is quite Bostonian, if you will. I think he wants to end sentences with kid a lot. Big fan of Joe List, though. He hates himself, but I don't hate him at all as far as comedy is concerned. In fact, quite the opposite. Ooh.
Yeah, and do whatever the fuck that guy was doing as well. All right, what's the question? Like coke drip. Yeah, what's the question?
So it's very funny. My best pal Brandon doesn't like being called Brendan, and insists that I had done so our entire lives or something, which is inaccurate. But this fella's name's Brendan, and he hates being called Brandon, meaning Brendan Sagalow. And it is rather funny of a thing to disdain, but at the same time, I think that it is everybody's right to not like having their name mispronounced. And Lord knows I suffer from it. Hence why I like having a bunch of silly, fun nicknames like the Illegal Amigo and so on and so forth. It's a way to make my name easier to remember. Oh, yeah, Rad, the rollerblade movie that Mike Cannon loves to love. That movie, Rad. I can't remember if there was a video game version of Rad or just something else, but my cousin had this Genesis game where you basically were one of three or four characters that rollerbladed around. It was not unlike, it was actually, if I recall correctly, I don't think Streets of Rage 2 had come out yet because whatever this game was, the graphics were much poorer. Like they didn't have defined faces at all, facial features at all. But you were like this one big lug or this female or this skinny dude, skinny like blonde haired dude or something. And the it was just like this really bad looking rollerblade game, and like you kind of punched bad guys and stuff and rollerbladed around like you were street toughs. Like rollerblading was so badass.
What a clever symbolic.
Uh-huh.
No Country for Old Men is a comedy. Is that a weird take? No. That's funny comedy. I like that. Make your case. Follow it up. I like the initial. I don't really have it. I actually think
I yet to watch No Country for Old Men as an old man, so I read should be on the top of my list, along with what's another one of those? The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I haven't watched that as an adult either.
I think Barbie was better than Oppenheimer. Nice. I think. I just can't.
That Krista Stefano is so hot.
What percentage of people in this audience saw the Barbie movie?
Oh, hot damn.
Good. Yeah, that's more than
I realize now I didn't even go to the movies this summer, like at all.
you're actually just cheering for the Barbie.
Then again, ain't nothing else was really good. I don't really want to see Barbie or Oppenheimer or any of the Marvel movies, really. Nothing's really struck me. I want to still see Flash, but I heard mixed reviews about that, and I'm still going to potentially watch that on streaming here soon or whatever. But yeah, no, nothing really gripped me enough to get my butt into the theaters this summer, I don't think.
Poor Brendan has to resort to raps now.
Yeah. Oh, Brendan Sagalow's gonna be Sag Daddy to God instead of Pod Daddy the podcaster. I don't know. But yeah, he's just gonna quit comedy now. No. Woo! Mhm.
Do you mean top him or power top him? You know what I mean? What's unbelievable about Rosa is I saw him yesterday after it happened. If you guys don't know, yeah, he you know, a transgender person, he jerked,
Yeah.
got him hard, and then
Woo,
that
dog.
person blew him in the bathroom, which is fine, no problems at all. But then Joe was sitting.
Yeah, none of that shenanigans made any sense.
And then he looks and he takes off his glasses. He goes, "And I'm not gay." I said, Joe, we all support you. We all love you.
Yeah,
Truly, no one
agreed.
cares. But if you think that you're not gay, you got another thing coming. I said, let me ask you. I said yesterday. Let's just go through the facts.
Oh, Chrissy D loves this though, man. There's no pressure. They're like the nemesis or rivals within the No Pressure Network, vying for Sal's love. He's like, babes, I love you both, babes. Calm down, babes. Just, buds, babes. They're just tugging at each other's arms like Greta from Recess when she's getting pulled back and forth between her friends and what are they called? It's not the Debbies, that's the Oblongs. What are they? The Ashleys. Yeah, Ashley Spinelli. That's what. But yeah, there's the episode where Greta becomes one of the Ashleys essentially, and they're tugging her back and forth like a tug of war.
Going under and over the wire. That was brilliant. Because yesterday.
Is Catherine Zeta-Jones? Oh no, I don't. I kind of remember that movie, but not as much as I thought. No, it's not the movie I thought it was. So.
And I said, okay, good. And he said it was the best blowjob I ever got in my life. I said, you are gay. Men do have strong jaws. Oh, yes. All right. What is this, Naked Rose? Yeah. Where's that? Jonah Rosa just comes on the screen like a Batman villain.
He's like, fools! Oh man. That was his like wrestling persona, the Pharaoh or some dumb crap. Oh, Pharaoh Touch or something. Chrissy D. Chrissy D. Chrissy D.
Hey, hello. How are you guys?
Boo dogs.
Why can't you let the calm just get to room temperature?
I mean, agreed.
A lot of time to think. I let the glitches get to fucking room temperature. You don't have to get it right away. And I'm gonna fuck Big J. I think I'm the only person.
Yeah.
You're writing all your answers. I'm gonna answer that.
This Big J Okerson's a hot cat.
Jay is on Ozempic.
Ah.
He's gonna be hot. 6 months. I'm getting in while the fucking gets good.
Oh. Was that still going on then? My guess was he had already quit that. But my guess is that's still true, is that they're just informed. Either way. I think it's a little bonfire context for your ass. Crackle, mother jackal. Oh, I like me some cranberry and gin with a little bit of lemon. You know what I mean? Or grapefruit and gin with a little bit of lemon. You know what I mean? So, yeah, somehow. Good morning drink, like he said, yeah.
I think we have questions from our Patreon. Thanks for joining, everybody, you fucks.
I'll tell you, man, that must be a rough go to continuously be looking at your numbers for Patreon numbers. Jeez. Especially just split between 3 people.
How long have you been in Key West now? I've been there for about 5 years. But I was a frequent visitor. I'd go down for like 10 weeks at a time. I'd get a job as a fucking busboy.
Tom Justin.
Restaurants, so I didn't drink all day. Because that's what it is. That's what it is. You become an alcoholic immediately. Right. I think you were an alcoholic before.
I thought they had another guest to bring out. I was trying to think of who it was. Oh yeah. If Skankfest is in Florida, it's gonna be in Tampa area, so Key West ain't got nothing to do with it. But still, I'm interested in going to Florida. I'd prefer if they did it in Vegas again, but I don't think they're gonna. I think somehow or another people have worn out the novelty of such an endeavor, you know.
This one comes from Herman. What animal would be the most terrifying if it was as intelligent and conscious as a human?
I always thought that dragonflies would be scary if they had a stinger. So that with the mind of a human, just the damage, especially if they were like omnivorous, like let's say they ate like locust, like they'll eat all the plants in the walls and stuff, but also bite you. You know what I mean? Leave nasty welts on your arms or something, on your butt. And then they also sting you while they bite you because they have the gnarly dragonfly tail. I'd hate for that to be able to be conscious. Although maybe if it thought about its own mortality, it'd be like, why do I even bite and sting the shit out of people? What's the point? It'll be a grunge dragonfly stinger. I don't know what the hell to call that beast.
Smarter than you, but they're also an adorable little dog. Who said they're smarter? They're just as conscious.
Yeah, that's funny too.
So what comes with that? Like socially?
Yeah, because you know what? Ability does affect your consciousness. So if you're like less vision, no thumbs, but as conscious as us, that could still result in being dumb. So yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, intelligence wasn't really in the question.
A bear would be pretty terrifying. Someone whistles for
Cocaine bear.
I hear that they were trying to call him in for
Nah.
DeRosa.
Joe DeRosa was a poser. I suppose you're probably right. Until the first night at Skankfest in Vegas. Yeah, I can't wait till I think that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna release that episode of Legion Space tomorrow. It's interesting how they've released them like in inside out order.
You know, the iguanas did 9/11. What are you shooting them with? Like a slingshot?
Yeah, those iguanas are supposed to be pretty nasty. People eat them. Which, you know, teach their own. As long as they ain't got, like, I don't know, little iguana mites or some cheesy up in their butt, I guess I'd be down. But I don't know. Amphibians don't taste very good. They kind of kind of fishy and they taste kind of gamey. It's weird. It's unpleasant to say the least. To say the bloody least, I suppose. Dirty iguanas. Iguanas. Not to be confused with Kiwanis, the iguanas. You know, for a short second, I started thinking, was there a video game company called Iguana? And I was like, oh no, you're just an idiot. It was the video game company Acclaim, and there was an iguana for a mascot or whatever. He'd be crawling around all iguana-like, making me pissed off. like a Floridian.
That's the name of our new podcast.
Look, yeah, I don't eat that little MFer.
How much you charge to get rid of an iguana? Typically $50 if you want me to take it away. What if I want to leave it so I can have a memorial?
When you leave that there, that meat's good meat, boy. I don't know why I'm acting like they're Louisiana. They're Florida.
Oh, and then the crab fisherman catches the crab, then I eat the crab. There it is. All right. Wow.
It sounded like, yeah, pretty Hakuna Matata to be real. Especially for this show, because it's very Lion King oriented, surprisingly. For being a show called Here's the Scenario, there sure is a lot of Lion King happening.
I feel like we have to have some serious lizard extermination going on. We're also having a acidic lizard problem in my area.
By the way, I didn't mention that I saw the last episode of this, meaning the episode that comes after this. So I did have a little bit of awareness, despite the fact that I didn't attend this live recording. I did have a little bit of awareness as to the goings ons and overall their whole assessment of Skankfest, and that episode can also be found on the Skankfest Vegas 2023 Team Illegal Amigo playlist. So feel free to like and share and comment on that playlist and all of the contents there within. And do subscribe to the Illegal Amigo here on YouTube, as well as following on Twitter and Instagram at Illegal Amigo Productions. If you'd be so kind.
That's crazy, dude. Did you ever miss on the first shot and have to go? Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. I had a friend, or a friend of the family rather, that had an iguana growing up, and it's funky, and you see like, yeah, little buggins on like in between its scales and little things growing in between its scales. It's gross. It's like, yeah, and it's just chilling there under a heat lamp, like you're cooking it. So it's kind of funky and keeps the area all hot and humid, or not humid, but I don't know, just grossly warm and reeking of cooked lizard. Man, they really still going on about these iguanas though. Ah, that's at least pretty funny. Because it's a Florida man's obligation to take his Louisville Slugger and decrease the populations of the iguana's bonerations and the iguana separations.
Are you allowed to kill a certain amount of years that you're not? Do you have tags like swamp people? No limit.
Man, you just go up to a bunch of iguanas in your backyard like you're Megan from fucking Walking Dead and be like, whap, whap, whap. And look at the one with his eyeball hanging out. That's fucking gross. And then just start whapping him some more. Again, folks, I don't abuse animals. I don't want to hear any suggestions of such. I'm just saying, as a Floridian, one might do that. And as a Megan, one might do that. And as an iguana, one might have that done onto them. God dang, don't you get nothing, boy? You thicker than molasses on the first day of the year, you is. That molasses cold, boy, because January fucking 1st.
But Alex the truck. That's right.
Man.
He asks.
You ain't like it the July molasses. I'm still don't know about molasses.
He goes, this is a long one, so strap in. Here's the scenario. Your toilet has stopped working.
Gross.
I suck at reading.
Mainly because it's Brendan Sagal talking about his toilet's not working. I know he clogs toilets.
Kevin James phone number rhythm. 6415 14. You guys know the bit, right? The killer bit. It's such a good bit. Check out Kevin James.
They're gonna plug Kevin James on their last podcast.
Who supports pedophilia, by the way. Just kidding.
Wow.
He was on Epstein's flight log. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
But
that's
he
right.
just did it for the little cookies that they give you on a plane. All right.
King of Queens rules harder than anything you'll ever do, Brendan Sagalow. Mark my words now and forever, because they're online. I don't think I have to worry about Brendan Sagalow doing something more significant than the King of Queens with his career, to be honest. Though. I think I'm pretty safe with that bet. His stand-up might get good. His rap might get good. Ooh, but I love me some King of Queens, boy. Perhaps one of the last great American sitcoms, just truly through and through. That decade was the last decade that made sitcoms properly. Last decade has its moments. This decade does not. Well, I don't know. I guess if you broaden your expanse of what the word sitcom is, I mean, Sunny in Philadelphia is kind of a sitcom. You know what I mean? It's a very strangely formatted one in a way, but no, it's got all the beats of a sitcom. It's three act setup and whatever.
Man, I think, so it's just a porta potty at a friend's house every time. At least the porta potty, there's some privacy to it, where if you have to go to your friend's house and make up an excuse every time, like, hey, just checking to see how's it going. I'm just gonna. That bathroom looks awesome. What are you doing there? Anything? I don't know what privacy.
Big Bang Theory has its moments. I say, as much as I don't think it like ended very well. Like the second half of the series isn't very good, but the first half is very solid. I think that it has the potential for that kind of level.
Have you ever shit in a fucking festival porta potty? Yep, I have. It's what?
Oh, festival porta potties, man. When you're on psychedelics, it's a nightmare. It's kind of like the episode of Sunny in Philadelphia where where Frank Reynolds finds himself high on acid and thinking he's trapped in a bathroom, but he's actually in a garbage can.
It's like a blast of, oh shit. I do that in porta potties and then I kick open the door like in the first Shrek and it's like, somebody once told me.
Man, at the music festival, I just leave the door open and keep rocking while I'm taking a dump. That is the one thing about those camp along festivals, man. That's gets a little grimy by the end of the weekend. It got a little grimy by the end of Skankfest weekend, but no grimier than anything else you'd be doing for a weekend in Vegas, you know? Ric Flair dip. Woo! Go on now.
By the way, never did well. I've said that 3 times. I'm getting more laughs calling the hippo tank my hotel room.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it worked. That's the 6th time I've said that.
Mm-hmm.
You throw it into his apartment instead of hotel room. It's like a fun variation. It's just to keep it real for me.
The hippo tank, though, that is funny. Yeah, they do the Yo Kratom Lounge or whatever. They're fun. Yeah, they got really goofy names. All the little venue spaces at notoriety as they were named for Skankfest.
Is a gym a public bathroom? Yes, absolutely. Is there bathrooms in gyms?
Jeez, Lou.
I've only been to the door of Planet Fitness where they offered free pizza. And then I said, $10 well spent, and I went home. I didn't think I was allowed to go in gyms. I'm Brendan. I don't go in gyms. I'm not Joe DeRosa.
Take that, Joe DeRosa. Blow DeRosa.
I'll do that because I'll pick the gym, go in the public bathroom, easy peas, take a shower.
Joe DeRosa. Joe DeRosa.
I'm sorry, the paper is insufficient. Yeah. What's happening in there?
I just don't have a good rhyme for it after that, unfortunately.
Am I the only one that takes joy in destroying a friend's bathroom?
I mean, besides supposer, hoser, and bulldozer, I don't know, bulldozer.
And then I leave it in there to marinate.
Joe the Roser, Joe the Roser. He met a train and he barely knows her, but he supposed her to let her blow, sir. And his name was Joe the Roser. He ain't a poser. Yeah. Oh, that Tom Dustin is so Floridian. Ooh, this Jordan Jensen coming out? That Jordan Jensen is hot on the streets with her Jordan Jensen half hour. Everybody make sure to watch that if you haven't already.
How you doing? I feel fine. I feel a little everybody, all my friends are like, I've never felt worse in my life. I kill myself. I feel great. Yeah, I don't feel too bad either. My legs feel like fucking jelly though. I was walking around like a mug.
You can call his legs Jelly Roll. Because they're fat. They're full of jelly.
My hands are tight.
This is interesting. I'm kind of getting a little sense of, not whimsy. What is that called? A little solemnity, if you will. But no, a little sense of melancholy as this draws near its end. This will be in theory, right? Like in theory, right? Like this is the last episode. It was. Yeah, potentially, yeah, it's potentially the last episode of this, and I miss these little knuckleheads. Mike and Mike. It's like it's almost like they have that stupid thing going, like this is my brother Daryl, and this is my other brother Daryl. What the hell's the first dude's name though? At any rate, they was retarded, and so are these guys. Oh, I do love these rapscallions though, these three stooges of sorts. If they were the three, I don't think I've heard that as one of their scenarios. So I guess I'll pose my scenario question. Who's who of the three stooges of them, right? Are any of them a Shemp? Or I forget the other Curly Joe guy, the other curly type of guy. But at any rate, I'm going to go ahead and say Curly, Brendan, Feeny, Larry, Cannon, Mo, I guess. And if it was an F Mary kill of those weird hybrids of them being the hybrid Three Stooges and hybrid HTS boys. HTS boys, that sounds really funny. Yes. FMK HTS boys. Wow.
Introduced himself to the Booker of Zanies. He goes, hi, I'm Ryan Shaner. I just have a cigarette. It sucks.
That is no good, buddy. I met Ryan Shaner for a brief minute at last year's Skankfest. He was a nice fellow. A lot of the Philly people are really cool. They seem really down to earth and cool. I probably already mentioned similarly actually spending an extended amount of time talking with old Sean Gardinis. That was a lot of fun. Gardini Squeenies. Hey man, if he never opens up a hot dog stand and calls it Gardinis Weenies, man. Then you have Gardettos instead of chips. Gardini's Gardettos.
Your body just tensing and it fires everything out. I'm in my 30s and I just did cocaine. I have a child. This is it. Yes, it's like pouring vinegar into baking soda. All right. This next question
Man, I just seen the Jordan Jensen, Ian Fidance, Simon Rex guest on the Halloween episode of They Might Be Drunk. And man, that episode was wackadoo schmackadoo for a flackadoo. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, she had a really good episode, and she and Simon Rex, I think, were flabbergasted at the whole goings ons, and I'd recommend watching that episode. I mean, I guess Ian was a bit flabbergasted as well, or as any of them, but I think that one that took the cake were Jordan and Simon. Even though Jordan seemed to think that she had all the tricks figured out, she thought she was so smart.
Okay, would you rather every time you take a shower have ice cold water pour down on you like a waterfall, or have really, are you giggling already? Or have what the Jesus man?
You probably get used to the ice cold showers. People get used to that. It feels like a waterfall, but like that you could withstand the power of. That'd be kind of cool. Because you just stand in it for a second, get wet, throw on your soap, stand back in it for a minute, and get the heck out of there.
All right, that question sucked anyway. It was all about showering. So
Yeah.
yeah, we can't relate to that. Anybody got a question? Have you thought of one? Go for it. Oh, when Steve's one of the top. It's like a very filming the league. Now it feels like Steve was on TV.
I was just trying to figure out what the question was, but oh yeah, by the way, if they start talking about the cast of Friends, we can point out the fact that Matthew Perry has passed since this episode's been recorded.
Which one of you was the one that was like, "This is over"? Kevin Clancy at Barstool. Dave Portnoy was the one that went, "This is over." It's over, JK. You can do it if you still want. And we went, "No." We refuse. We're leaving on our
That does sound like old Brendan Sagalow.
You guys can still do it. Well, now we don't want to because you said. Like, wait, really? Wait, no. Oh shit, yes. Oh yeah, what was your best memory filming a TV show? This sounds so stupid. I know. I feel bad about it. No, I'm excited to hear. I'm a fan of that show. I love that show. The line of completely earnest, but also have a huge punchline at the end.
I'll tell you, I bet you. I wonder, is there going to be a filling of one of these guys having shed the dead weight? And if it is, it's going to probably be Feeney. He seems like the most marketable of talent out of the three of them. I would say Mike Cannon's probably funnier by a little bit. Maybe a little, like, I find his humor a little more relatable or whatever. But Sagalow's kind of just a wild card. He's funny as hell though. I do really enjoy Brendan Sagalow.
They sexually assaulted 3 people.
Yeah. I like non sequiturs. You know what I mean? People who can do a little bit of out of left field thinking, if you will. You know.
Taco just kept saying the N-word. We couldn't get him to stop. Joy? Yes. Yeah, that was it. The best moment was the rape.
Jeez. Of course, Jordan would think that.
No, it's good. Take him out. Stand up.
Go on now.
Oh, good. He broke the chair. God. He's curtsying so he doesn't show you his ass. No, that was a good show. Oh, thanks, bro.
Brock.
Thanks, dude. Thanks so much. Anybody else? Yo, I have one for Jordan. What's it like working with Ian? Are you guys really as good of friends as it appears? Jordan, when you were filming your Gas Digital 30, did you find it harrowing?
Oh man, don't you mock her. Gas Digital 30. She killed it.
I think we have time for one more. We got one more.
Oh, yeah. Let's go, baby.
We got 10 minutes. It's got to be good. Okay. This one's for Jordan. Mary killed these three.
Ah, boo. I actually made that joke earlier, but funnier because it involved the Three Stooges.
Oh, shit.
Bwah, 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 bwah.
Wait, these three?
Yeah, there's four. Let's just add Steve. Yeah. But there's four dudes here.
Did you say these three?
How about fuck, Mary kill? I mean, I'll leave if you want me to.
You said only these three, right?
Okay. I'll take myself out of it then, I guess. Fuck, Mary kill is such a horrible question, but thank you. You are sorry. I'm not only the show ending, but I'm going to take out each of my fans individually. Easy there, Dark Knight. You kind of have that. Do you want me to help you? I'll be, please, yeah. I mean, good question.
Oh, man. They're wrapping it up, you guys.
That's true. But I'm out of
I hope you HTS. Oh, here's the scenario. Well, in the ebb and flow of time and in consideration of the grander scheme of podcast, they must end, so must they begin. As they must begin, so they must end. I don't know, something. There's something there. And I would highly recommend that you also watch the follow-up episode of this HTS, their recap of Skankfest. It'll be in the playlist entitled Skankfest Vegas 2023 Team Illegal Amigo playlist from the Illegal Amigo YouTube channel. I'm pretty happy with the way that playlist is coming together. I think it's about 50 videos deep now. So by the end of it all, it'll probably because I think basically I've coordinated this pretty well because I was thinking, I'm kind of taking long to get to these videos, but at the same rate that they were coming out in different forms of podcasts and things like that, they I would get to them as they came out typically. So it actually worked out because tomorrow is probably the last one I'm gonna do, which is the Legion of Skanks episode with Joe DeRoser and Ari Schaefer. But yeah, so I think that the coordination and timing of it actually worked out pretty well. I was able to get a good little bit of a combination of nostalgic fun and interesting content from it. Hey, woohoo! They're gonna keep the podcast going, guys. Rudy, Steve Ranazizi. All right, folks. Well, that's been the final live episode of Here's the Scenario. Second to last, penultimate episode of the series as a whole. And you should definitely watch the last episode as I recommended before. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, all that fun stuff. I'm the Illegal Amigo, and we will catch you on the next one.